aka Unique Mazik. I'm the hardest working man in sports and gaming, and I am here to talk about a few things. But first and foremost, we're going to talk Bulls. We're going to get that in order. Let's make sure we got our sound situation together. We know we need that. We also got to make sure that we tweet this out to everybody. Let everybody know we out here talking, running our mouths. All right, so I hope everybody is having a beautiful New Year's Eve and going into next year with some positivity. 2020 has been pretty rough for a lot of folk. Everybody has had some ups and some downs. A lot of people have had some ups and some downs. So I'm hoping that you guys are like me. I'm trying to focus on having 2020 be a little bit better, y'all. I mean, 2021 be a little bit better. So we'll see what happens. But let's double check, see, make sure there we go. All right. So I'm going to let some people get in here. Alexander Pineda, what's good? Excuse me. Brandon, what's good? Appreciate everybody. Taking care of the business side of this real quick, guys. Un momento. Por favor. All right. I think we in it to win it right now. So, yeah, I like to give people a little bit of a chance to kind of get in here before we get going. I'm not going to be on for so long, but definitely be on long enough to talk over the three main subjects that I want to discuss, which is the Chicago Bulls getting their second straight victory tonight, second straight victory over the Washington Wizards, which some people may kind of try to downplay the victory because, of course, the Wizards are 0-5 now with their last two losses coming to the Bulls. But yes, it definitely happened. Alexander, you said your mom just got COVID. I am praying for her. Make sure that I pray for her. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now, Alexander. I pray that God blesses your mom, blesses you, blesses your family, blesses everybody else, anybody else who might be on right now who are either struggling with COVID, has a family member struggling with COVID, or any other thing that they're struggling with. And I pray God blesses her right now and blesses you guys with strength. And the same goes for anybody else who may be in that situation. So, what's going on? No passes given. AJ, Spidey Cat, Happy New Year to all of you guys. Yeah, the Wizards are definitely not the best right now. I will say that. But a win is a win, and good effort is good effort. And that's one thing that you don't want to lose upon, because here's the thing. If you're going to try to get to a point where you consider yourself a good team, you got to beat bad teams, right? So the Bulls did that. 2 straight games. They went out. They played a bad team. They played a bad team on the road, even though we're not even 100% sure what the road even means, like right now. I think I talked about this last stream. I don't even know if, playing on the road is the same type of disadvantage that it has been, most years. So I think we still got to kind of wait and kind of look at the data to see how that shakes out, because it may be a situation where the road just isn't the same way as it was. But none of that, all that aside, the Bulls played without 4 players tonight due to guys out due to the NBA safety protocol. So they haven't gotten into specifics about what was what. But for the most part, people pretty much believe maybe someone tested positive. If they didn't test positive, they were in close contact with someone who did. So we don't know any of the specifics in that way. The NBA is not, or none of the league is not, or the teams are not required to share that information. It's part of like a privacy agreement. So you may see a player or something come out later and say it, which is what Garrett Temple did. Garrett Temple came out and said, I tested positive, but the NBA nor the Bulls were going to share that information for him. So we'll see if that ever comes out. So if you look at what happened tonight, I mean, Otto Porter played fantastic, starting in place of Lauri Markkanen, 28 and 12, 3 assists, 3 steals. He only missed 4 shots, y'all, all night, 10 of 14 from the field. And those 4 shots he missed were were 3-pointers, but he was 5 of 9 from 3. Then I thought Pat Williams played well while he was in the game. Didn't get a ton of minutes, only played 18 minutes, but he had 10 points and a rebound in those 18 minutes. Wendell Carter Jr. was decent today. He had a really strong third quarter. I thought he struggled in the first 2 quarters. Thought he came on in the third quarter and played really good. Made his stat line actually a lot better because he was on pace to having a rough game. But we're going to talk about the person who came in his stead and balled out. But 16 points, 5 rebounds, and assists, a steal, and a block for Wendell Carter Jr. Was also in some foul trouble, ended up with 5 fouls. Kobe White had a strong first quarter, I thought. I think he had 6 assists in the first quarter. Came out really looking to set his teammates up. It was a while before he even took his first shot. And I thought that was a nice, different kind of look for Kobe White. He ended up with 16 points, 10 rebounds, a career-high 10 assists, and he only had the 3 turnovers. So that's what you're always looking for with a point guard, and most anybody else, but definitely with a point guard, is you would like to see a 3-to-1 assist turnover ratio. So if he's got 3 turnovers, you want him to have 9 assists at the very least, and he had 10. So that suggests that he played pretty well. Of all the starters, he was the only guy on the team who had a positive plus minus. So he was plus 14. Otto Porter was broke even on plus minus, but everybody else was a minus, including Wendell Carter Jr., who was a minus 24. So that's kind of rough. Pat Williams was a minus 15. And Zach LaVine, who played, I thought, really well from a decision-making standpoint, even though he didn't shoot the ball great. He was only 1 for 7 from 3, 6 of 17 from the field overall. But he did knock down 9 of 10 free throws, getting to the line with some smart drives to the basket, especially in times when I thought the Bulls needed a bucket. So I liked the way he played there. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and a block. And that block was a huge block. It came down the stretch. He was guarding Russell Westbrook one-on-one. Russell Westbrook drives to the basket, tries to get a spin using that strength and that's the shoulders that he uses to pretty much create space against most guards. Zach LaVine stayed there, played him straight up vertically, got the block shot, which was one of the biggest defensive plays of the game. But the Bulls really played well off the bench. They had 41 points off the bench, which was huge. 15 for Thad Young, who came back, and not only did it not look like he was rusty after missing the first 4 games of the season, he just looked just good. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. One of the biggest things that he did hit a big clutch 3-pointer, but one of the biggest things that Thad did tonight was he really took advantage of mismatches in the low post. This is something that we often want to see Lauri Markkanen do, and he doesn't necessarily do. Either he doesn't recognize it, or he just doesn't have the strength to really make it a true mismatch. But we saw Thad Young do that each time, banging guys down whenever he got a mismatch. The only time I saw a smaller guy get matched on Thad Young in the post, and Thad was unable to convert, was against Russell Westbrook, who is a different kind of guy because of his strength defending the low post. So I just thought Thad played fantastic overall. Let me see. Maybe did my tweet go out? I want to make sure. I couldn't remember if I did. Yeah, we're out. So I thought Thad played great. Let's see who else do we have here. Daniel Gafford. Oh my God, how great did Daniel Gafford play tonight, y'all? I mean, 7 of 8 from the field, rolled hard to the basket off screen and roll. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block, just 1 turnover, a team high plus 23, plus minus 15 points overall. He was fantastic. Great rim protection, active hands. When they had point guards probing into the lane off of screen and roll, and he played that in between defense that you like to see somebody play when they're defending screen and roll. The guard comes across that face off of the screen, and the big man is having to make a decision. So he's gonna go back to the big man, but he's some kind of way he's able to play like two spots at once. Active hands reaching in to bother the dribble, disturb the rhythm. He ended up getting a steal, a poke away against Russell Westbrook in that way. I just thought he played an overall fantastic game. If I had to give out a game ball to somebody and say who really was most instrumental or really really deserved to be recognized for the way they played, I would have definitely said Daniel Gafford. He played fantastic. Garrett Temple had 8 points off the bench, steady. And Darnell Valentine got a look. He made one shot, which he shot from like 30 some odd feet away with the shot clock running down. Knocked that 3 down, so he had 3 off the bench. Like I said, I thought that a lot of guys played really, really well. I don't know, man. This was this win felt even better to me than the one that they had day before yesterday against the Wizards, because the Wizards came out hard, looking to fix a lot of their mistakes that they'd made in the game in the first game against the Bulls. I thought they looked to have a bit of a game plan. I thought they tried to turn it up on defense, even though they gave up more than 35 points in every single quarter except for the final one. They're just not a great defensive team at all at this point. Russell Westbrook and Brad Beal look very frustrated. I don't know, man. It's a tough situation because you look at them and it's got to be a defensive situation, especially with Rui Hachimura coming back. He played really well, I thought, in 25 minutes, came out, really set the tone early on. He might not have played enough minutes in the second half. Maybe he has some sort of minutes restriction to start, because I thought he played really well and he was a little bit of a problem for the Bulls. But ultimately, man, Bulls were just able to take advantage. I mean, if you look at Hachimura, he was plus 13 for the game. He had the best plus minus for anybody on their team. Thomas Bryant played really well, shot the ball well. He was active around the basket. He had 28 points, only missed one shot, but they couldn't get it done, man. I mean, if you told Wizards fans that Bradley Beal would have 28, Russell Westbrook would have 22, and Thomas Bryant would have 28 as well, they would have told you that they knew their team was going to win, but that was not the case on tonight. So. So I'm happy, like I said, happy to see the Bulls win. We're going to see what happens in their next game tomorrow against the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously a very tough matchup for them. It's going to be even tougher because they are going to be shorthanded. So we're going to see what happens with that. But, yeah, it's going to definitely be a tougher game, I would say, for them against Milwaukee. Milwaukee's still trying to find themselves a little bit, though. I don't think they're exactly who they want to be just yet. They got some new pieces. And so Bulls fans obviously going to hope that they don't get it all together on Friday night. So on New Year's Day, Bulls got a tough turnaround, man. You got to come out here and you got to play on New Year's Eve, and then you turn around and you got to play on New Year's Day as well. That's a tough little deal that they got, but we'll see if they're up to it or not. Let's talk. I'm going to go to you guys' questions, but I want to talk a little bit about the Bears too, man. The Bears have, I don't know if, yes, anytime the Bears play the Packers, for the most part, with any kind of postseason situation at hand, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But I'm going to tell you guys something right now. Sunday's game against the Packers is one of the biggest games and biggest regular season games in the last maybe 15 or 20 years for the Bears. And I'm going to explain to you why I say that. First of all, it is the biggest game in Mitchell Trubisky's career. He has played well enough over the last 4 games to position himself to kind of have a way to say, hey, I am worth you guys signing or offering a long-term deal, because we don't really know. He'll be a free agent. He can walk if he wants to and say, hey, I want to just go and get a fresh start, just change the scenery, the whole 9. And if he plays well again, he will have increased his stock. But you got to think that if he plays well, based off of what has happened, and if he can be instrumental in the Bears getting into the postseason, you got to think that that means that the Bears don't draft a quarterback in the first round this year. They say, hey, we'll probably draft one. Maybe we draft one in the fourth round. And then we go you go back into next year with Nick Foles as your backup, but Trubisky's your starter. And then you got this developmental guy as your third guy. And maybe don't even draft a guy. Maybe they sign an undrafted free agent, rookie free agent, to hold that post. That'll be interesting, man, to see how that works. It's gonna be something for that reason. Now, another reason why this is such a huge game for the Bears is I said this the day that Trubisky got drafted, because of how much the Bears gave up to get into position to draft him. As he went, so too would Matt Nagy's tenure, as well as Ryan Pace. The Bears this particular regime put so much on Trubisky having success. And because of the importance of the quarterback position, if he didn't pan out, it was largely going to be considered a failure for Nagy and Ryan Pace. Up to now, I think we all know that everybody has been pretty much viewing it as a failure. But suddenly, over these last 4 weeks, now we're second guessing. And if he plays well against the Packers and can help lead the Bears to the postseason, because obviously if the Bears win, they're in. Right? The Bears beat the Packers, they're in. They can still get in if they lose, but they would need the Rams to beat the Cardinals. And the Rams are going with a backup quarterback, whole nine, right? So if they win, they're in. And imagine if Mitchell Trubisky can quarterback the Bears into the postseason with a final week win over the Green Bay Packers. What that will do for him, and then subsequently what that will do for Nagy, and then leading all the way up the chain, what that does for Ryan Pace. It is huge. I mean, he literally, in my opinion, has himself and two other men's fate in his hands based off of the way he plays this year. Because I almost think that if the Bears have to move on from Trubisky, it seems like they may be inclined to move on from everybody. Because Nagy, Trubisky, and Pace's fate and their whole everything is kind of linked together. So that to me, I feel like that is really, really something that you got to watch. That's why to me this game is such a huge one. It's such a huge one right there, because if the Bears win this game, man, it is going to set so many things in motion and change the narrative so much. So it's a humongous game. Now, as Brandon mentioned earlier, David Bachtiari, arguably the best left tackle in football, is out with a torn ACL. So obviously he's done for this game tomorrow, Sunday, done for the postseason. And because his injury happened so late, it happened actually at practice. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice, not a game, practice. So because it happened so late in the season, he may miss some of next year. Now that sucks. But the Bears are really catching a significant break there, because we're talking about more than likely the primary blocking assignment for Khalil Mack not being on the field. One of the Packers, literally one of their best players, Bachtiari is one of the Packers' best players, not being on the field in a game that's a must-win game for the Bears. So things are shaping up where the Bears could have a chance to win this game. And one of the things about it is everybody is probably thinking, oh, Trubisky, oh my God, I hope he has a good game. I'm going to be honest with you. I am more concerned with how the Bears defense is going to contain Green Bay's offense than I am even about how Trubisky will play. The last meeting against the Packers, Rodgers and Devontae Adams and Robert Tonyan, the tight end for the Packers, sliced the Bears defense up into shreds. I'm also worried a little bit about Mac. I thought last week was a game that Mac should have played really well. Should against Jacksonville. I thought he should have been a major factor. He really wasn't. He really wasn't. They need Khalil Mack to play like a truly elite edge rusher on Sunday if they're going to beat the Packers. That is something that I believe that they need, and there's an opportunity there because we're looking at the Packers being down their best offensive lineman. So that's one thing. Kevin Bronson just brought up, he said, keep in mind how well the offensive line and Montgomery have been playing. They have been. That honestly, that has been the key to this Bears turnaround, being able to run the ball. Because the Bears are never going to be not this particular group, is never going to be a fantastic passing game. Everything they do starts with the run. If you cannot run the ball effectively, it removes play action out of the equation. It removes most of the respect that the defense has to play to the vertical game. And now they're loading up the box against what was a very inexperienced offensive line. And we're talking about this offensive line. I'm going to tell you one of the biggest unsung heroes for the Bears this year. And it is their new starting center, Sam Mustafer. Sam Mustafer has come in and he has really established himself in the middle of that offensive line, picking up some of the call responsibilities that centers normally have, and maybe most importantly, allowing Cody Whitehair to move to his more natural guard position, which has been huge overall for the Bears offensive line. And that, if you look at it, if you kind of trace it back to when Mustafa starts playing, it really somewhat jives with David Montgomery starting to really get momentum. I told people ever since last year, I had a lot of people I would talk to, they'd be so down on David Montgomery. And I said, man, you have to watch the all 22 film footage. You know, if you have NFL Game Pass and you get an opportunity to watch all 22, where you get literally on every play, you can see every single position. It's a little bit further back. Sometimes you'll see, if you're just watching the TV broadcast, you'll see a running back get the ball, or you'll see a quarterback take a sack, or you'll see a quarterback hold the ball, you know, for a certain amount of time. Sometimes there literally is nowhere to go with the ball, but until you see that view, you really don't know. All 22 lets you see the view all the time. With a running back, sometimes there is no hole. And now, while I will say David Montgomery sometimes is guilty of, you know, hesitating and trying to make a move sometimes instead of just plowing into that direction, especially in short yardage situations. But a lot of times, especially through last year and the first portion of this year, there was no hole for him. And because there was no hole, it's not really much you can do. I don't care how great you are as a running back. If you don't have an offensive line, you're only going to be so effective. So now he's starting to get good blocking, good running lanes, and you're seeing better things from him, and you're seeing better things from the Bears offense on a whole. So I can't, man, I'm excited for this game on Sunday. I really am. This is purely from a fan standpoint because, you know, the business side of it for me, I cover the Patriots, and I really have rooted for the Patriots pretty much all year this year. Cam Newton's an easy guy to root for me personally. And so it's just been fantastic to watch him play for an organization like the Patriots, who generally is one that has, you know, has been one that most, like a lot of people across the country, love to hate unless you're in Boston. But it's been interesting. So I do want to kind of segue into Cam. He got an award today from the media in Boston, and it was basically for just being super accessible, professional, kind, and endearing himself to the media throughout the year, whether it was good times, bad times, whatever it was. Cam had COVID after week 3, missed their week 4 game against the Kansas City Chiefs. The next game against the Broncos got pushed back like a week. And to be quite honest, he really hasn't been the same since he had COVID. He hasn't been as bad. And we're talking now, the person that's speaking right now is somebody who has literally watched every single throw, every single snap that Cam Newton has had all season. He was not as bad as people will lead you to believe, especially if you haven't watched him all year. don't completely believe the narrative that Cam Newton has just looked like trash all year long. It is not. A lot of people are prisoners of the moment. And to be totally honest with you, I think some of it is play calling. I don't believe that they, for whatever reason, they don't. It's a combination of not trusting Cam and not trusting the offensive weapons on that team. And they have they have been extremely conservative. And here's the thing. People say Cam can't throw the ball anymore, shoulder shot. Well, the numbers don't actually back that up because he has been more effective, more efficient on intermediate to long throws than he has been on short throws. So if we're talking about a shoulder issue, wouldn't that manifest itself when he goes down the field? Yet he's hit big passes to Damiere Byrd earlier this year. He hit big pass to Julian Edelman in week 2 in the narrow loss to the Seattle Seahawks. And he's hit a few other deeper out type throws throughout the year. Most of Cam's inaccurate passes this season have been on shorter or intermediate stuff where he's thrown the ball short. He's throwing those spike balls way too often. Those are where the issue has come in. But he doesn't have great receivers. He has almost no tight ends. He has a great running game. And obviously he adds something to the running game himself. But don't believe this narrative that people are pushing out here that he has just been horrible. It hasn't been like that. You have to have watched the games and kind of see how this works to see exactly what he's been. But you know, the Patriots game actually, it means absolutely nothing in Week 17. It means nothing except for the fact that Cam has to. He might still be, as he said, on a job interview, trying to determine whether or not he'll be back next year. He was only on a 1-year deal. I think the Patriots know he's not like the long-term solution there, but because they will probably be drafting too low to get some of the top quarterbacks, we're talking about, obviously, nobody's getting Trevor Lawrence unless you're picking number 1. I believe that Zach Wilson is going to leapfrog Justin Fields in the number 2. Justin Fields probably goes number 3. And in number 4, you're probably looking at Trey Lance or, maybe Kyle Trask. We'll see. I don't think the Patriots are going to be in play to draft either of those guys, and they have to be in love with whichever quarterback they actually pick. So it wouldn't shock me to do kind of what I'm saying the Bears should consider to do if the Patriots were to take a quarterback in the 4th round, bring Cam back. They already have Jarrett Stidham still under contract, and kind of roll that way. And they're essentially trying to bring the young quarterback on to ultimately take over for Cam. So that's what I would expect or think that they should do, but we'll see. But I just want to say, man, Cam is a heck of a dude. To have covered him all year like I have now, and just to get a look at just the way he carries himself, the way he handles things now. Of course, he was a young man. He had the different situations happen at Super Bowl and that sort of thing. But the way this guy carries himself right now is really pretty exemplary. And he got a lot of haters out there for all different reasons that don't really have anything to do with football. But yeah, it really has been a pleasure covering him, even from afar, just giving people a lot to kind of look forward to. So I'm going to take a look at the chat. You guys are not quite as active today, but I'm going to take a look at the chat and see if you guys have some comments. I see Luke Williamson says they got to keep Allen Robinson. I mean, you know what, man? I can understand why you say that. I really like the Bears receiving core as it is. And I'm going to tell you something. If the Bears could sign a elite left tackle, and if that meant not bringing Allen Robinson back, I'd do it. I would do it. If they could, because I think an elite left tackle would be more impacting to the Bears overall than Allen Robinson. And the reason why I say that is because I like what you possibly have. And I'm not saying you don't get another wide receiver, but I like what you have potentially in Anthony Miller. I like what you have for sure in Darnell Mooney. Cole Kmet, I think, is going to be a big-time receiver at tight end. So I don't know. I'm not opposed to keeping Robinson, but we'll see what happens. Kevin Bronson said Cam needs a pass catching tight end and running back, maybe a reunion with Rivera. That could happen. It definitely could happen. He definitely needs the pass catching tight end. He has pass catching running backs though. James White is one of the best pass catching running backs in the NFL. Before Rex Burkhead got hurt, he was very good at it. It's not Damian Harris's bag, but the Patriots have so many running backs, that they have a specialist for just about every single concept that you can think of. Running back is definitely not their weak point, but tight end is. I mean, if they could get Kyle Pitts, man, that the tight end for Florida, if they could end up with him in the first round, that would be one of the best gifts Cam or any other quarterback could have from a pass catching tight end standpoint. So we'll see if that happens. But Pitts has been so looking so good, and people are so high on him. He might literally be a top 10 pick. So we'll see. Let's see. We talked about the Bulls already. The Bulls have the Bucks coming up in their next game. Somebody said something about Ben Simmons was hitting threes. I did check. He hit 1 3. He was 1 for 1 for 3-point range today. He had 9 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. The guy took 7 shots. I really don't I don't know. I don't understand. I mean, they won by a lot. So they won by 24 points. And they're now 4-1. So something's going right for them. But I just don't understand why this fella does not want to take more threes. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. It's kind of bewildering to me. But that's how he rolls. The Knicks lost again. The Knicks are 2-3. Their record is even with the Bulls now. Let's see. Kevin Knox had 16. Julius Randle had 16 and 10. And 5. Mitchell Robinson had 4.7 rebounds, 2 assists, no blocks, and 4 fouls. I don't know. I'd have to ask somebody. I haven't been watching a lot of Knicks this year, but I'd have to ask somebody. Does it feel like Mitchell Robinson is regressing a little bit? Because it felt like this should be a year where he would take a serious step forward, but we haven't seen that. And I'm wondering what's going on. I have to probably talk to somebody who's watching him play regularly. I'm about to, 1 second here. My PS5 was about to go into rest mode, and I didn't want that, so I had to do something there. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like he's might have regressed a little bit. The Rockets eked out a victory over the Kings, 122-119. James Harden had 33 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal, and a block. 4-11 from 3, 10 for 24 from the field, 9 of 11 from the free throw line. John Wall had 22. Boogie had 8 points. Christian Wood, man, whoa, what is good? Christian Wood with another double-double, 21 and 12 with 3 assists and a steal. He was 0 for 3 from 3, but he is balling, y'all. Christian Wood is balling. I think he is going to run away with this most improved player. I don't even think it's going to be close. He is going to run away with this joint. The Pacers beat the Cavs 119-99, but TJ Warren did injure his foot, and he's out indefinitely. So we'll see what that's about. Phoenix is beating Utah by 15, and Oklahoma City is down 27 to the Pelicans. So my man Eric Rayweather should be happy about that. Zion has 12 points, 5 rebounds. Steven Adams 14 and 10. Eric Bledsoe 17 points. Lonzo with 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. That is crazy. Let's see, 12 points, 11 rebounds for Josh Hart. 17.6 rebounds for Al Horford. But they are down by 30. That ain't gonna work out. That's not how you want it. Say Jaylen Brown, Kevin Bronson, you are not joking. Jaylen Brown is playing like an elite wing. Elite. I'm talking about elite wing. Jamal says, do you plan on getting an Xbox Series X2 or sticking with only PS5? I have an Xbox Series S, but I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't played that bad boy since I got a PS5. And my problem is I don't know, or I don't think there is a Xbox exclusive that makes me feel like I gotta have a X. So I gotta get a reason first. And as of right now, I don't really have a reason to get an X. I was even actually thinking about giving this S away. Get that answer. Wait. No, I don't know. I was really thinking about giving it. I haven't made up my mind yet, but yeah, I haven't touched it. Um, yeah, Freddie said it was doom and gloom. It was bad. It was bad, man. I mean, we had to temper these expectations for the Bulls for sure. They did win two in a row, but they did only beat the Wizards. But winning feels better. That's just how it goes. Winning just feels better. Christian San, how you doing from Romania? What's going on, man? I appreciate you coming through. What time is it in Romania? I'm about to look that up. What time is it in Romania? In Romania, it is 5 in the morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Christian Sand got born. My man, what's going on? 5 in the morning. It's early, man. It's early. I appreciate you, though, for sure. So that would make you, what is that? 8 hours ahead. I appreciate that, Christian. Thank you very much, bro. Thank you very much. Clocking in for work. Man, the PS5 game controller gave to me that right now. The controller is what sets the PS5 apart from the Xbox to me. Yeah, that the PS5 controller that is to me, is oh, for the live stream. All right, I appreciate you, bro. Man, I appreciate that. You don't even know. You don't even know how much I appreciate that. That's real dope. Real dope. You see, man, I'm telling you, man, this one of the dopest things about like sports and gaming. Sports and gaming link people from so many different places, like from everywhere, man. You know what I mean? Like I got somebody in Romania who wants to, uh, I appreciate that. Who wants to talk? He wants to talk to me. Wants to talk about, what I'm saying? Just sports. It's just dope, man, and video games and stuff. Like it ain't nothing else. It's just that, like some people who vibe on the same type of things. That's like the best parts of sports. That's like the best parts of gaming when you get a crowd together, get people together, and that's what they own. Uh, yeah, it's already yeah. I forgot about that. It's already 2021 in Romania. Happy New Year to y'all, to you, Christian. Happy New Year to Alexander, my man Kevin Bronson, and Jamal and Freddie Calipari and Luke Williamson, I said Jamal, AJ Taylor, Spidey Cat, no passes given, Brandon, everybody who is in here who hasn't said anything. Every stream has the lurkers. They be in there, they be listening, but they not necessarily saying anything. I appreciate all y'all, man. It's really cool. Um, I am I'm still working on this roster. I'm gonna tell y'all how many people we got done. We got about we got about it's almost 300 people that we have done already. Almost. Almost 300 people. Like, okay, so if you looked at it for like the teams, like how many teams do you have done? So obviously it's 30 teams in the league. We have, what is this? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We got 20 teams. Like almost about 20 and a half teams done. So we only got like less than 10 teams left and the whole roster will be finished. That's like exciting to me because we've been rocking this for a minute. Junior and I have been putting in the work every day, and it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. Jamal said I play my PS5 more than my Series X, but both are dope. Although that Miles Morales is elite, Xbox just needs some. Yeah, man, Miles Morales is crazy good, and I ain't really even gotten into it really yet. So I used to watch your videos regarding mods and retro 2K games. You are the only ones who represent these kinds of things. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you, sir. I used to do I do, yeah, I used to do the PC mod video games and the 2K, older 2K games. I used to do a series called Throwback Thursday, and I probably should do it again. I don't know, but I used to, like, every Thursday I'd play an old sports game, and nobody would know what sports game I was gonna play. And I dropped that boy. People would be like, "Oh man, I remember that. Oh, I used to play this. Oh, this is my this. I don't know. Maybe I should do it again. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I still got a lot of those videos on the channel already, but um, like, you have to come up with what your rule is, right? What's your actual rule for your game? What game are you gonna play? So I don't know. Maybe that might actually be an idea that's better set for the Operation Sports channel. Because I run the Operation Sports YouTube channel. I don't know if I've ever told you guys that on stream here before, but yeah, I'm kind of like the director for the YouTube channel. So every video that goes up on Operation Sports, either I did it or somebody on our team has done it. So it's been pretty cool working with some really cool people. A guy, Prince, he has a really cool channel as well. He has submitted videos. Matt Ederer does videos there. Actually, I just has been talking to my man, Sports Gaming Universe, had a YouTube channel for years. He and I got started around the same time on YouTube years ago, back with Machinima. He's actually doing videos for it as well. So nice little team effort. Getting some cool stuff up for sports video games. Yeah, usually they're pre-recorded lemon drops. They usually are pre-recorded. Like, I'll just play it, kind of like, do a little talking through it or whatever. Sometimes I might focus on one particular part, but yeah, man, it's a blast. I think I probably will do that. So if any of you guys are not yet subscribed to the Operation Sports YouTube channel, make sure you open up a tab and look up that and subscribe to it. It's different kind of content. It's different kind of content than what you see here, but still kind of the same. It's still sports video games. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Conversation got boring. So yeah, like I said, man, I appreciate all y'all, everybody coming through. New Year's Eve, rocking with your boy. You should actually love this type of format. It's kind of forming it. Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate that. Turn on the notifications. I always forget to say that. I always forget to ask people to subscribe. Sometimes I forget to ask people to like the video and that stuff. Thank you very much, Alexander. Forget to ask people to turn on the notifications bell. I know that's supposed to be like YouTuber reflex, but I guess I was doing it back before it was supposed to be reflex. So I haven't. Sometimes I forget to do it. It says, any idea who the Jets are taking at number 2? I think it's gonna be. I honestly think it's gonna be Zach Wilson. I think he has leapfrogged Justin Fields. The only way I think they don't take Zach Wilson is if they are going to roll again with Sam Darnold again and see if they can make something out of Sam Darnold, which I don't think would be a horrible idea. Honestly, we talked about this being a big game for Trubisky. I think it's a really big game for Sam Darnold as well against the Patriots, because how he plays could help to have some level of an impact on what the Jets do with the quarterback position. Sam Darnold comes out and plays fantastic and gets the and gets them to what was I about to say? See, this is why you got you got to block people, because they want some attention on New Year's Eve. God bless you, Lemon Drops. I pray that God blesses you, and whatever's wrong, whatever's bothering you, I hope that that you get past it, because it's unfortunate. I hope that you are delivered from your issue. But yeah, it's gonna be a really big game for for Sam Darnold as well. So I would love to see how that works out. I mean, well, you know what? I forget where my modders are. I got one modder that's not here, and now we got Lemon Drops, and he's so stupid. Now lemon drops. Like I said, man, I pray you you get help. What's going on, King Fredo? I appreciate you, man. Now, Adam Gates did not get fired yet, and I'm telling you, like I said with Sam Darnold, man, it's really um he's in a position where he actually kind of has his head coach and his general manager's hand, like their fate might be in his hands as well, because I mean, if you look at him, man, they've sucked right most of the season, but over the last few games they've played well, got 2 victories in a row over solid teams. They beat the Rams, they turn around and beat the Browns, so now they're in a good position. You know, it's just, I will, we'll see what happens. But I gotta get my modder in here to get my man out. So as I was actually about to head off the stream anyway, but Happy New Year, Lemon Drops. You be blessed. Um, but what's I about to say? You guys, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy my New Year and play some PS5 and drink some wine, and it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful. So I appreciate everybody coming through. And nobody think for any reason that the idiot cut the stream short, because he didn't. I was about to end anyway. I'd gone through my agenda already. So I appreciate everybody coming through. God bless and peace.